Turn it up, turn it so loud it don't ever stop. No, 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 turn it up. Makes me so proud, I believe this feeling. So this is becoming a professional bass player. My name's Deborah, and this is the video journal of my career transition. So that, I'm going to turn my amp off so we don't get any reverb. Well, you don't get a prize today because I've sung the lyrics. That's Turn It Up by Simply Red from their album A New Flame. And we've discovered that I need to do backing vocals on that. And I was singing the harmony there because I thought if I try and sing you the main line and then the harmony and play the bass, that's going to go a bit curly. So I'm sticking with the harmony because I've got to get that in my head for Saturday. And obviously Mark and Georgina, that's a big sax number actually. There's some really lovely sax bits on it. So Georgina can't always harmonise with Mark, and there's harmonies all the way through that song. There's not many bass players that sing and play bass or do harmonies and play bass, but increasingly so. I see more and more of them. Obviously Paul McCartney is very good, and I don't know whether Orifo does. I couldn't quite see when I went to see Simply Red at the O2. I know that he didn't have any backing vocalists on stage, so his instrumentalists, his musicians were singing those. But the way I do it is to break it down really slowly. It's probably how everybody does it, so apologies if I'm boring, but so I'll just go, turn it up. Let's turn the amp back on. Turn it up, turn it so proud it don't ever stop. No, 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 turn it up. So I work out where the words go and what note they land on, and then I speed it up and get faster and faster until I'm playing at the rate of the song. And that's how I've always done it. I came to doing backing vocals and vocals with the bass by accident. I mean, I do love to sing, and people, because I'm female, understandably, because that's how things have been for a long time, always assume that I'm the lead singer of any group that I'm in. Because that's usually what women do, and the position never interested me. But I was in one of the first bands I was in, Keep It Simple. We had a big gig coming up, and our vocalist dropped out at the last minute. I think had a sort of panicked at the idea of actually being in front of an audience, and so we really needed somebody to sing parts of the chorus. Otherwise, we couldn't perform the numbers. So it's just like, you've just got to do it. So sometimes I will simplify a bass line. So I need to sing backing on fake as well. And in order to make that work, I'll maybe simplify the bass line, slow it down, simplify the bass line. If the slowing down isn't working, simplify the bass line. But then usually what I find is once I'm really comfortable with it, I can do the bass line anyway. But it sort of tends to be, I make sure that I'm not doing that on songs where the bass line is complicated, or I wouldn't, for example, it might be quite hard to do it on It's Only Love, even though that's a really simple bass line. So It's Only Love has got the most beautiful bass line. It's what I've noticed playing that bass line in a song that I've always found really really moving, a really sensual song. And obviously I first heard that when I was a young teenager, and I just had sort of lots of romantic ideas about Mick Hucknall. but as listening to it now as a mature woman, I can hear that it's really the rhythm of sex, and it's the rhythm, that bit that they play is the heartbeat. And I might do a little bit of backing on that, because they just sing, it's only love. But I would be more nervous on that, even though that seems much simpler, because it's representing a heartbeat. And if you don't, that's quite a fundamental part of the song, the idea of being together, being intimate with somebody, and two heartbeats, that real closeness when you can feel somebody else's heartbeat. That's a lovely thing, actually. I've been married a long time, and really knowing somebody and knowing their heartbeat, or having listened to it for a lot of years. And I wouldn't want to get that wrong. So it's much, if I can't get that right, then I won't do backing vocals. That'll be my choice. I'm seeing now that I've taken up, quite a bit of your time, so I'll get off. But I'm just going to sort of notice how much work is going into all of this now. I made a little list. I'm doing about 4.5 hours a day as a therapist, and easily 4.5 hours, if not more, on Glitterball every day. And those, like today, I've got to print some extra leaflets out for Truly Red. I've got to sort, it's not really backing tracks, it's clicks and cues for Truly Red, because we've got so many musicians in the band, we can create it all. I've got to do the set list. I'll put a picture up actually of that, where, musicians will know one of the ways of doing it is to write them all the songs out on bits of paper and move them round with your fingers and just, see what that looks like. Then you've got to listen to that. Does that flow? Does that sound right? Does that make a good evening as entertainment? Take the tempo up, take the tempo down. I've got to check in with our sound and light team, with Joe Lamb, and to see if all the in-ears and everything are ready. And then I've got to think, once I've done the set list, I've got to think about the costumes. So in the video we had, there were 3 costumes for Mick Hucknall, 3 costumes for Georgina, 3 costumes for me. You can't be, fussing about with costumes in the middle of a gig. So I'll have to make a definite choice on 2 of those costumes, and get those sort of ready and organised for Saturday. But yeah, getting there. Okay, you take care. Bye-bye.